Hi everybody, welcome to the show. Hi, welcome. Welcome to David's Kitchen. Let's get a good clear view here of the kitchen. Wow, look at that. Bacon fried pea potatoes. 5 for as many people as you want, really. 5 for 5. That'll work. Okay, so today we're going to be working with some potatoes here. We got 2 sweet potatoes, organic, and 4 non-GMO baking potatoes, medium to small, actually small potatoes. And we got some bacon, and I'm using turkey bacon today. Basically about $1 worth out of a $3 package. So that's good, and about $1 worth of onions and peas. Yeah, I saved a half an onion for this, so just a little onion doesn't require a lot. Okay, so you can put more onion in if you want. Let's get into the chat room. Okay, wow. What a wonderful, glorious day, huh? Yeah. If you wonder why I don't talk about a lot of things in the show during this recorded broadcast, it's because we got a full show waiting for us every night. You know, I'm kind of a media, saturated media person. I've got tons of media going on, and have for years actually been involved in audiovisual, radio broadcasting, TV, and now the internet. Yeah, great remix, thanks. Wasn't mine, but yeah. No, that's my song. Scissorfight didn't work on Mr. Right. That's my song. I created Mr. Right songs with the program Magix, it's called. Magix. Yeah. And it's Magix is available for free, and you can use a lot of their standard loops for free too. And that Mr. Right thing came out a couple of years ago, and it was just perfect. I did that Mr. Right song in about 2 minutes, and it's amazing all these plugins that they have technology-wise. Amplify is another free one you can get. Amplify, Magix. There's a few of them out there. Yeah, I haven't really experimented much with Amplify. I'll probably do that pretty soon. I like playing with free programs. Okay, so today we're going to start the burner at level 3 in the back there. And I'm going to do some peeling of potatoes. Yeah, it could be a hit. You never know. The thing is, if it is a hit, I have to pay royalties. So, luckily, it's not a big hit. Yeah. I'm kind of happy about that. But if it was a really big hit, I guess I could pay royalties, right? I'd have some revenue coming in. But, hey, you know, I'm not really here for money. I was telling you that the other day. I believe in a money-less society. And that's different than a cashless society. Yeah, it's completely different. Let me get a paper towel. Money-less society is just, it's kind of a mixed economy where we wouldn't get rid of cash. We would just all have less money. I'm not making a joke. It's for real. Yeah, I know it seems ridiculous, doesn't it? Well, you know, if we have our needs met, our basic needs, you know, like enough area to grow a garden, we wouldn't have to go shopping as much, would we? It's a very simple plan. It's designed to make a more self-sufficient society. And what it does is, like the homestead renewal plan I have, scales the cost of houses down very much. Money less money, yeah. Using the principle that if we cover our basics, food, water, electricity, and shelter, and we manage that, which so far we're not doing yet. Obviously, we got a lot of homeless people out there, and if we can get everybody in a place that they can consider okay, I'd be enormously happy, because I know so many people don't have any place at all, and some people have too much. But I'm not going to take that away from those people. I just want to make sure that everybody gets their bases covered, and I think moving towards sustainable housing solutions is a way better way than to pay a landlord forever and ever. And that creates kind of a fake economy. I could go down to a local casino right now and run into a couple women landlords hitting the $20 button. They'll actually hit the $20 button. Yeah, it gets you worked up. That's good. Yeah, these people hit the $20 button. They allow $20 bets at these casinos with the slot machine, which is more of an electronic machine. Yeah, it's $20, and they'll do 2 or 3 windows, and you can just tell these are the landladies, the ones that inherit everything. And people struggle for their rent, and these women are just sitting there having fun. I actually met one of them one day. I would never play slots except penny slots or dime slots. I'm just not into gambling, and gambling was designed for people that don't understand math. So I understand math and the probabilities, so I don't gamble. But I will play I'll push the buttons for pennies, dimes. I don't consider that gambling. You're not going to win a lot. You might be lucky to win $3. Wow. Okay, so these potatoes have to be peeled a certain way. And it would be better if the screen was on the screen, right? There you go. Okay. Yeah, I'm almost done with the potatoes, so it's nice to have them peeled. We're getting a little green blend through, and of course it's a very green kitchen, so I went with a green theme today. It's always important to look at the peeler when you're doing it. Yeah, see, I'm staring right at it, and you. Oh. Trying to not take my eyes off it, because if you put your finger under there, don't do that. You could lose your finger. I mean, literally, the top half of your finger could come off. It's super dangerous, these peelers are. They may look safe, but when you get a good peeler with good steel in it, you can always tell a good peeler. They last and last. This has been around since the 60s. It's never lost its blade. Isn't that amazing? I've been using it continuously too. It's never lost its blade. It's like, what? Yeah, it's been around since like 1968. Amazing. There's something about steel, A tip for all of you people who are trying to save money on razors. Yeah, those double-edged razors that they sell in the package, disposable packages. Thank you. The double-edged razors are actually made really well. The old ones. Yeah, I noticed that. You just have to get a razor blade that'll fit it. Basically, it's a Track 2 razor blade. You can buy them online. But man, I've got one I've been using for about 3 weeks now, and it's like the steel just stays longer on those things. They're just double-edged. And they're cheap. You can buy the disposable packages of Track 2 razors for about $1.95 or so, versus $16 for 4 razors with 5 Track blades. I just think that they're making steel a little cheaper now. As things kind of get tight financially, they cut back. Okay, move over to the butcher block. Now today I'm going to be using an additional feature for the $5 menu. The bacon and the potatoes and the onion. No more than $2.50 at the most. Well, $2 actually. The potatoes are really cheap. I mean, $1.99 for 5 pounds of these non-GMO potatoes. And these sweet potatoes were $5.99 for a big 5-pound bag. So we're down to about $2 for the vegetables. And I'm using an old onion here. I keep my onion in my old plastic bag. Like, here's a cheese bag that's perfectly good for reuse. So it's very solid and keeps that onion smell out. And I'll actually reuse it again and again. The thing about the onion is it keeps the germs from forming. So the thing sits in there covered. The onion doesn't even make it smell any different than onion. And you can keep it in the cupboard and just let it sit there until you need it again and use it. Better than wrapping it in plastic wrap and whatnot. Okay, that's getting hot. We're going to go ahead and cut the onion. I take the base of the onion after I sever it in half. This would require like a small onion. I took a large onion here and just, used half of it. Not a lot of vegetables in this dish. Oh, I'm going to add, I think I'm going to add $1 to this. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to kind of stack it up with some better ingredients. Yeah, we can go 6 for $5. Yeah, so I've been getting these carrots from Sarah's classroom. She brings them in, so I wanted to get an opportunity to use some of these carrots she gets in her classroom. And I've got a few other vegetables I might throw in there. Yeah, she gets these because the kids don't want them, so I'm just going to use a few of these. Three packets. That'll work. Okay, so I'm going to rinse them off. I really don't know if it's organic. I don't think it is, but that's okay. Carrots are really good for you. And this dish is like a super easy dish to make because the carrots are all pre-cut. So I'll drop them in there. Plastic. Everything's plastic. The kids just don't eat these things, and they should. It's like, well, it's really their choice. I guess they have the choice of not eating them. So she doesn't like to throw them in the compost heap if we can eat them. Why not? Okay, so here we go. Put a little filtered water into that. Rinse it off. Now that can go right on a pan pretty fast, but we're going to get oil in the pan first. So let's go ahead and... Whoa. Did you see my feet? I don't know. The foot cam is... Wow, you're raping me? I didn't mean to be so loud, man. Sorry. I thought we had this thing toned down. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about tonight. I'm not going to mention who's going to be the big topic of the conversation because I really kind of want to keep it as a surprise, but yeah, a lot of new stuff happening right now. Whether it'll materialize or not, we don't know. Okay, so the first order of business is to get that bacon down. We're going to throw the bacon on a plate. Okay. Yeah, I'm always barefoot in the kitchen. I guess I'm a little Native American. I have a very small amount of Native American in me. I guess it's the part of me that really matters in so many ways. I mean, it's such a small part, but my concept of nature itself is highly developed. I don't know how to describe it, but I have I'm in tune with nature. I really feel like a real need to protect nature. I don't know. It's in my genes, and I think that's the Native American in me. Okay. That's why we're having a conversation about Democrats and Republicans, and Sarah said, "Oh, David's definitely not liberal." I am actually pretty liberal when it comes to the environment. I just don't buy into all the dialogue that's coming out of the left right now on the environment. I don't think they've done enough in big ways. Okay. Okay, we're going to get that cut, and we're going to cut the bacon. I think that's Sarah right now. I care deeply about homelessness. Yeah, we're going to slice this in about a 1/4 inch, a 1/3 of an inch. It gets a lot of pieces when you take it to slice a 1/3 of a pack of turkey bacon. And yes, you can use regular bacon. It just has more fat in it. So I'm going to throw that in the pan. Whoa, with the onions. There we go. I didn't mean to be so loud. Yeah. No, not like Elizabeth Warren. My mother told me we had. I didn't get any money to go to college, based on. I'm going to throw the carrots on top. Yeah, you can just you can throw it in there frozen. It won't hurt. Okay, let's chop the potatoes. No, I never received money to go to college. She did. She got affirmative action money, claiming she was Native American. I never did that. My mother told me we had a grandmother on her side, eight generations back, like in the early 1700s. Yeah, like real early 1700s, in northern, right around the Finger Lake region. An Algonquin grandmother in the Finger Lake region. Yeah, you know where Hunter Biden came from? Okay. That's the clue for tonight's show. Okay, let's take a look. Cut those down to size. I like making these into kind of medallions. The sweet potatoes. And just kind of take them like that. And if you want to dust them, there's some dusting things you can put on them. I've got garlic powder from Miss Patti LaBelle. And she does a fine job of making spices, I'll tell you. I like her blends. But they get a little tough at the bottom when they're really old. And these are really old. I got these back in 2007. I bought these for 10 cents a piece. Yeah. I'm going to put that, I'm going to kind of set the sweet potatoes in there. It's still at level 3. You want to distribute the ham, the bacon, or whatever you got, kind of evenly. And get rid of any blemishes you see. You don't want any blemishes. All right. And we'll cut these potatoes in half. Actually, what I'm going to do is dust the entire thing with the Patti LaBelle. Nice. The carrots and the sweet potatoes. Okay. Yeah, now just keep that level up at level 3 while you're cutting the rest of the potatoes. And we're just going to cut them in half. They cook pretty fast. This one right here is a little bit larger, so we'll go it sideways. There we go. And we'll throw those in with the others. Right on top. All right. Now, take the peas. If you're frozen, you can put them in now. Put them right on top. Okay. About $1's worth of peas and onion. Okay. Now I'm going to add. I bought it for $2.50 for a Kirkland chicken container, because I've been buying these as backup food. And with chicken supplies kind of down to, well, certain suppliers aren't producing as much chicken. And the organic ones are really rare now. So I'm just going with Kirkland right now. So I've been looking all over for a certain type of chicken, because chicken can be really tough. And the one thing about this Kirkland chicken is you won't have any problem with anyone, chewing on anything. So it's a guaranteed success in the kitchen. Yeah. See, we got Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Sarah's cup that she got from Metanemesis. Isn't that cool? And you can check out Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood at my Cool Rock site. Yeah, there's a Mr. Rogers button there. If you've got young kids in your class, in your life, like Sarah has in her class, great. It keeps them busy. First, second graders, they love that stuff. And Sarah really grew up on Mr. Rogers. So, and I don't mean the current version. I mean the old-fashioned one. And it's still very relevant, Mr. Rogers kind of forged a relationship with kids, and when they watch the show, it's a lot of kids feel like they're talking to them directly. It's kind of how our show is structured in some ways. You know, you feel like I'm a guy you could get to know. It's too bad that I am a robot. Otherwise, you get to know me better. Just kidding. You know, that's very, very rude, Andy. Yeah, don't ever denigrate my show or anything at all related to Cool Rock. Yeah, don't ever say anything bad about anything here, or I'll ban you. Yeah, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Answer, True Blue, dark garlic, turmeric. Yes and yes. Let's do that. I've got some nice clove garlic from Spain. I'll be prepping. And I buy turmeric in bulk, so I just kind of made my own label here. You know, I get the big jars of it. Like here's a jar of it. That's what I do. I buy it in bulk. I get it at Ross for Less, and it's a good deal. They come out with really good deals there. Many of you have a Ross for Less in your area. If you want to check for value, they do have some good values. You've got Wild Planet chicken. Yeah, I have some of that too. Yeah, that's really good. It's a smaller can though. This Kirkland, you know, ever since Kirkland switched to no hormones and steroids in their chicken, I actually think that's great. Yeah, they're actually in-house now. Costco was making chicken and losing because the price of their baked chicken is so low. Yeah, everything's green in this picture, man. It's all dedicated to peas. Thanks. It's so low that the cost is like, what, $4.99 or something for a baked chicken. They lose money on that, or in the past they have. They've lost money on that. So now they make their own chicken, and they're using a no steroid hormone thing. At least the chicken isn't being raised on steroids or hormones. Yeah, that's the important thing. And that's one of the reasons why I like this product. You know, what do you think about Disney getting owned? At this point, I don't really care. You know, I grew up on Disney, and if I have something to talk about tonight, I'll be able to, you know, give you more information about that. I enjoyed the trip I made in 2017 to Disneyland. Sarah and I went over there, and she had never seen it, so we really enjoyed that trip. I guess that wasn't Sarah after all. She's not outside. Yeah, it is a $5 meal. Yeah, it's $6 though. Okay, I'll go over the prices for you. Some of you are a little challenged. I hear you. I understand. This garlic is no more than 20 cents. The onion was no more than 20 cents. The peas were additional 60 cents because I buy them in bulk, frozen, organic. So it wasn't that expensive there, $1 for that. This can is on average $2.50. So you can get this for, we're up to $3.50. The potatoes were no more than $1, $4.50, maybe $2 with both types of potatoes. We're up to $5.50. And then I'm going to add a little bacon. I'm going to add 50 cents worth of bacon. I got that whole package for $2, so I got 1/3. It was 75 cents for the bacon. Hang on, there's a call. Hello, can I help you? Yeah, I'm being harassed by my local representative on the phone with an automatic dial-up. You know, I'm not happy with what they're doing. Too many jets above my house. Yeah, it's not exactly an environmentally concerned guy. Yet he's talking about climate change. Wait a second. My house is covered with literally jets fly all over the place, and they have major exhausts. So it's like, and then he wants to talk about climate change. It's kind of funny. the duality of his thinking. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and right. We're still dealing with no water in there, right? Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and put this whole can in there with the water. I know. It's wild, isn't it? Who would have ever thought? But talk about flavor. Oh my God. I mean, as much as I'd like to drain that, and there's no water in there, I'm going to put that water in there with all that salt and everything. Throw it all in there right on top. And now, take it up to level 6. I haven't put the garlic in, and I haven't done the turmeric yet. We're going to wait on that. But I did a little Patti LaBelle. That was pretty close to the turmeric. You got to get some seasoning down first with some onions and the bacon to start making its magic. Now it's going to steam fry. Yeah, everything's in there except the cabbage, the garlic, and this spice. So, all right, there we go. Yeah, well, I can tell you that this is an interesting situation where he wants everybody involved, but he's not willing to listen. So, and I've had numerous times where I've talked to him. I even went to his office 3 years ago and sat there in D.C. with a guy, and Sarah had a thing she was doing for the school, and I got a chance to meet him up close. I'd met him before. I've confronted him on a lot of issues. It's not like I've reached out. But every time I do, he shuts me down and just starts scoffing at everything I say. And it happened in his office. I was talking about modernizing the legislative process by having everybody on a tablet and having everything secured through an intranet. And if they wanted to vote, they wouldn't have to all run down there and vote at a certain time. They could get a reminder on their tablet. I mean, this is what technology was made for. And we could secure it. We could have a system monitored by security agents, making sure everything is locked in place and nobody's breaking into the signal. We could do that. He got so angry. That's the last thing we want. And he got really angry at me. It's like, whoa, that's a little extreme there, man. You know. Anyway, I didn't push the issue. I just thought how convenient that would be for everybody. They don't want convenient because they want you to think they're doing something, even though they're not. No, I'm not going to turn off guest chat. No, I never got a contact or call from anybody in the world anywhere at all. I've been completely insulated for the past 13 years. No one's ever reached out to me. Nobody from the press has made any real connections except for that incident where we were swatted. Sarah and I were. And none of the video that I made was put out there except for 12 seconds. 12 seconds was published. That was all that was published. Out of literally 1 hour or 40 minutes of audio of me talking about the issues. So, yeah, I've had very little coverage in the U.S., but my international coverage has been enormous. And I thank all of you international viewers for watching our show. And I realize too that when you hit on the YouTube channel, it doesn't necessarily say you saw it. And that's a big difference. You know, we've got very limited hit counter activity. No, I don't do interactions, Sammy, during the show. It's too difficult for me to bother, especially while I'm standing here talking and enjoying the show. No, nobody's ever reached out to me, no. Not seriously. That guy you're referring to is a troll. It's a little piece of bacon I want to put in there. Okay, this is essential that you leave the heat on there and let that just start steaming on its own. Yeah, you don't have to get all worked up to make dinner. You saw how quickly I threw that in the pan, right? Yeah, the topper is, I'm going to top it off with some cabbage, just to kind of round out the meal. The peas are a good vegetable. You don't need anything more than the peas and the onions and the carrots. And those are all very affordable. And the onion, everything there is very affordable. So if you wanted to make this every night, I don't think anyone would complain, although it would get a little boring. Now you can do an offshoot of this like I did last week. where I took the can of chicken and put it in with Annie's organic seashell cheddar cheese mac and cheese. That worked with the pea option too. That worked great. And I've got this stand, I've got a forest of tomatoes growing here. It's a forest of tomatoes. There they are. They grew from seed. Hey guys. They're not going to get very big. I'm just going to, whoa, ceiling can. I'm going to end up having a picking, I'll pick them out and transplant them probably. Yeah, they need a lot better soil. In fact, the whole dahlia is suffering because it went through its first blast of soil, and now it's like, what do I do now? It's a lemon dahlia. It's coming. You can't see it. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
So we'll see if it'll grow. I'm going to give it a little water. So it turns out that they didn't have enough water in the reservoir today, and they called up halfway through and said, oh, well, we're not going to do a second day of flushing. Thank you. That's a good idea. Save the water. What a concept. Yeah, so luckily we had a half day shut down. My local community is trying to dial in on our water, and it's very problematic. There's so many issues. We're on an island, so we get a lot of sediment in our lines, and I think they're going to have to put a brand new filter in. So they're working through that. But it's taking forever, which means something's not right. When people take forever to do something that money can buy, that's kind of a warning sign right there. Because they have the money. Or at least we think they have the money. My community had a person in their front office that stole $100,000. Yeah. And I even contacted the local city attorney and said, I think there's some problems right now. And they said, oh, we won't handle this case. It's a closed case. So you found one person that did this, but you don't suspect anybody else? Really? And they said, oh yeah, we won't go back to this case. It's closed. It's like they just wanted to wrap up that case and never investigate anymore. It's like, no, we're done with that. She had jail time and everything. I was like, oh yeah, right. You can't read bacon fried pea potatoes? I'm trying to make it easy for you, man. It should be on the screen. Anyway. Okay, Andy, I've warned you about this. You can't talk about that stuff on the show. That's just not political. I don't know how many times I've had to warn this guy. Yeah, and then talking about Eric only triggers him. So I'm going to ask you to be a little kinder to Eric. Eric will defend himself fiercely. Yes, thank you, Eric. Yeah, Eric is very good at defending himself. So you're just kind of creating a riot by starting something with Eric in the chat room. Oh, the Lyrid meteor shower peaks tonight. I can't wait. All right. Thank you. Now, nothing's going on here except me standing here, right? That's the nicest part about the dinner is just nothing goes on. It cooks on its own. Now we haven't added the pepper. We're going to put pepper and this in there. These two ingredients together triple the effect of this. Now I'm not talking about this because that's something I don't want to trigger anyone talking about it. Yeah, but this is a really good thing. It's in yellow mustard. Let me show you. Access file. Whenever I go to a fast food store, I'll pick up a few of these things. These are the best little things you can have. Yellow mustard is full of that thing I didn't talk about. And it's one of the reasons why my grandfather lived to be 96 years old. My great uncle lived to be 96 years old. My grandfather lived to be 99. Yeah, I had a grandfather who lived to be 99. My uncle lived to be 114. We've talked about that. Fred Hale Sr. I give him an extra day. He died one day before his 114th birthday, but Yeah, so it's longevity is this is part of the package. My uncle served me 2 hot dogs with yellow mustard on it. And he said, "You like mustard, Dave?" I said, "Yeah, I really do." He said, "Oh, I do too." And he's like pouring it all over his hot dogs. It's like, okay. The hot dog didn't kill him. The mustard saved him. So he lived 96 years. Yeah, he used to take swims in the morning in a lake. Can you imagine taking swims all the way through your 80s at 7:30 in the morning in a cold lake? That'll keep your heart going. He was an amazing guy. Smaller man, you know. I'm taller, of course. He was like 5'8". He played baseball. He and my other uncle were telling me about how they were playing semi-professional baseball on the East Coast at one time. Yeah, it was a big thing. Baseball used to be huge on the East Coast back in the 1900s. It's still a great sport, but I mean, I don't think it's as huge. This is before football. They didn't even have football back in the early 1900s. Learning with Dave. Okay, so I've got some cabbage here I'm going to kind of cut up. And what I do is I put a little water on there. Yeah, kind of when you prep it, you want to shave it off like this. Make sure you don't get the base, that part that I just got. I don't want that. So you want to make sure you cut the base off. Make sure I have you on the screen. Okay, well, at least you're having fun. That's the important thing. So the Lyrids, I'll have to look up the Lyrids later in the show. The Lyrid meteor chain. Now you don't have to cut it too small because this stuff kind of gets really like super, it cooks pretty fast when this thing is roaring, so you don't have to cut too small. I'm going to leave some of it for another meal, you know? And this is the kind of vegetable you really need. You know, cabbage is good for you. Cauliflower is good for you. Broccoli is good for you. Chard is good for you. Spinach is good for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the seasoning, and this is just an easy way to do it, and put the seasoning right on the cabbage. Okay, like that. And I'm going to top it with a pepper. Yeah. Now, I didn't go in the curry direction, but you could if you wanted to, you know. It's entirely optional, especially with the chicken flavor in there. I'm going to chop up that garlic and put it on top. And then I'm going to take the pan and look at my move. Look at this maneuver. See that? How quick that was? Give it a shake, make sure everything's still cooking. And then I add a little water to the plate, so if there's any kind of seasoning in there, I add a little filtered water to that, and I'm just going to throw it in there quickly as well. Voila. And I'm going to still cook at level 6. Very good. Now at some point, I'm going to take and dive in there with a wooden spatula, this little wooden fork, and I'll be able to press on those potatoes to see if they're almost done. And once they're almost done, everything else is done. All right? You're welcome for adding garlic. I ate garlic raw today. Yeah, I was visiting a cell phone company because I'm looking at cell phone plans in case I go mobile. And I'm getting the best possible deal we can for unlimited access for a laptop and a cell phone. And I've been doing some research, and I was in there, and I had eaten this garlic, right? And I'm walking in there, and this lovely service employee, a woman, was wearing her mask, and it said, you know, it's optional, and so I didn't have a mask on. But I thought to myself, boy, I'm really glad I'm standing 5 feet away from you, because I reek of garlic. So it's kind of nice to be COVID spacing when you're heavily garliced up. Garlic is great for building you up physically, but tearing you down socially. So It's the old saying. Okay. Hey, don't, Andy, again, this is a warning. Don't talk about sex acts in the show. Thanks. He doesn't seem to understand he has to talk about politics to remain in here. He had this problem when we first started, too. All right. And the salt was in the can. So this can of chicken has an amazing 800 milligrams of salt in it, or 700 milligrams of salt. So you really don't need salt in the dish. Okay, give that about 5 minutes of steam, and then we're going to mix it all up, and we'll head into the other room. Because I'm going to leave everything in the pan. But you can top it off with cheese if you want. Now, cheese is a good thing to add to everything. I don't really have any cheese I want. Well, yeah, I do have this stuff back here. But it's pretty fresh. I've been getting cheese packets for an amazingly low price. I got this Kraft cheese. Let me go grab one of the packages. Now, Kraft has been doing some things with no RBST hormone. Look at that. I got this for 50 cents. Oh, really? You were a Trump University graduate? I'm impressed. All right, so there you go. I'm going to throw some on top when I mix it all up. Let me get in there with a spatula and check it out. Okay. Zooming in. Whoa. Okay, now's the time to move it around. Give it a good spin. Nope, not quite done yet. Everything mixes naturally when you mix it together, but you can gauge whether there's enough water in it. Which it has enough water. The cabbage is pretty much cooked. In 5 minutes it's done. Everything else is almost done. And when you turn it off and leave it on the stove, it'll be done. So we're almost done. I'm going to open up this this package of Kraft. Yeah, they have to get rid of these things. They're past due at a certain age. So I'm glad Kraft made that decision to go with no RBST. That was pretty smart, actually. Okay, so I'm going to just top it off. Turn it down to simmer. I cover it with cheese. And I can pretty much walk away from this dinner. I can turn it off, in fact. Yeah. That is ready to go. It looks like really good food, and it's super tasty, too. The nice thing about this dish is it just comes together. It's so mouth-watering. That bacon, it just throws its taste into all the potatoes. Now, it's a steam fry. It's not like a hard fry in bacon. If you got bacon fat and you get these potatoes, you can just crust them up and crisp them, carbonize them in the bacon fat. But that's the outdoor style. That's the outdoor style. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to sign off. Thank you for coming in on this day, and I'll be back in the show in about a couple minutes. Yeah, signing off from David's Kitchen. Thank you for arriving.